Well, I'm off.
Oh, I'll see you this evening.
You sure you're okay?
Yes, I'm fine. You be home for dinner?
As far as I know, if I have a problem, I'll call.
Okay, have a good day at the office. Yes, this is Holly Scorpio. I ordered a winter coat from Delphina's a while back. Yes, that's right. The special line. But I'd like to cancel the order. No, it has nothing to do with the coat. It's just me. Thanks. Wyndham's? Yes, I'd like the billing department, please. Thank you. Yes, this is Mrs. Scorpio. I was just about to pay my previous balance when I decided I'd like to get completely up to date. Would you mind totaling my current charges and adding them to my balance? I want to take care of everything at once. And I'd like to close the account. Yes, I'll wait. Thank you. How much is that? Thank you very much.
Hi, guess what? Wyndham's is having a sale, so I came to get you.
No, I can't go out now. I've got so much to do. I've got to go out anyway, but actually I've got to return some library books, I've got to pay a whole bunch of bills here, and I've got to pick up some cleaning.
You can't be serious. Bills? Cleaning? Library books?
Yes, there's a whole bunch of things I want to take care of. I have to.
Well, why? Holly, what's the rush? You sound like a woman about to go on a long trip. You're not going anywhere, are you?
Yes, well, no, not in the way that you think.
Holly, are you all right?
It's just that I've got to get my life in order. I've got to do it now as quickly as possible.
Why? Holly, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. I don't know what to say. Are you sure that there's no way you can be mistaken about this?
Believe me, I've searched for every out imaginable. Now all I can do is just face the inevitable.
But you had no way of knowing that the others were going to give her drugs, too.
Ignorance is no excuse under the law.
The dosage you gave Beatrice would not kill her, right?
No, not by itself, but combined with everything else that she was given, it did the trick.
Oh, Holly, this is dreadful. It's all for the sake of a few photographs.
Which were lies anyway. Not that that matters now, of course. I was innocent of what the pictures implied, but I am guilty of giving Beatrice to Robert's painkiller.
But you weren't trying to kill her.
Intent isn't the question. With involuntary manslaughter, it doesn't matter what you meant to do.
It just doesn't seem fair.
But that's the way it is. The fact that I just wanted to make Beatrice groggy so I could steal the photographs doesn't seem to matter at all. It doesn't make me any less guilty.
What do you think is going to happen?
It's obvious. I'm going to jail.
No. Holly, you have to tell Robert. He'll help you. You let him know about Leo's stupid photographs.
But that was different. Then I was the victim. Now I'm a murderer, or one of them anyway.
Well, that's all the more reason why you have to tell Robert the truth. Holly, I know secrets between a husband and wife are a bad idea, and they can be disastrous.
But what am I going to do if I tell Robert? There's nothing he can do. I mean, I'm beyond his help now.
Have you still got his pills?
Yes.
Where are they? Holly, what do you think I'm going to do? Turn you in? Holly, listen to me. You have got to confide in Robert. See what he can do for you.
Confide in him. Any day now, I'm about to be charged with involuntary manslaughter. Do you know what that is going to do to Robert? Not only have I helped kill Beatrice, but I'm about to ruin my husband's life.
What did you say?
I may resign.
Why?
Oh, a variety of reasons.
Well, give me one good one.
It's time, Lee. I think I'm burned out.
You? I don't believe it.
I'm stale. Work has no great enthusiasm for me anymore. I'm no good to you or myself in this state. I think you might be better off with another police commissioner.
Well, I don't want another one, Robert. I want the best.
Well, I'm far from that at the moment.
Look, I don't understand what it is that's bothering you.
Everything.
Look, I think you're just tired now. Once you get the LeSueur case wrapped up, you'll feel a lot better.
I seriously doubt that.
Well, now, we've got to work out something here, because I won't hear of you leaving.
It's not going to
But
solve...
I'm not going to accept your resignation, Robert.
It's still not going to solve the problem.
Well, what will?
I don't know. I don't think anything can.
Well, it's time for the board meeting, and I've got to go. But I would very much like to continue this conversation. I think you know how upset I am by what you're proposing to do here. I just ask that you do not talk about this to anyone else until we've had a chance to talk further, all right?
Fair enough.
I don't know what it is that's got you down, Robert, but I hope it clears up fast, because I would hate to lose you.
Commissioner?
How you doing?
To tell you the truth, I'm a little upset.
Under the circumstances, I'm not surprised.
No. Not about my son's death, but about the fact that it's taken so long to round up the suspects.
Well, I can understand why he's so impatient.
Fine. So what are you doing about it? Why's it taking so long?
Well, you see, certain people have been rather slow to divulge information.
What people?
Your luncheon companion, among others.
What?
I haven't the slightest idea. What are you talking about?
Why didn't you tell me right away when your safe was broken into?
You were robbed?
Commissioner, we have already discussed this. You know that.
Tell me again.
Yeah, me too. What's going on around here?
I suspected one of my employees might have been responsible for the theft.
Which one?
You know which one.
Remind me.
Beatrice.
What?
I had reason to believe that she may have been the one to rob my safe. I was hoping to keep this matter in-house, Commissioner. Now, surely you can understand that. Beatrice was my friend. I wanted to see if we couldn't work something out. I was trying to save her a great deal of embarrassment, not to mention publicity.
How kind of you. You're lucky to have such a good friend. Bon appetit.
Yes?
I'm doing an interview with Ginny Blake this evening.
Oh, Robert, when did that come up?
Well, they've been after me for some time to do it. They want to discuss the LeSueur case.
Oh, I see.
So I went ahead and agreed to tape it tonight. At least, well, I'll finally get him off my back.
Fine.
I wanted to let you know that I'll be late.
Thanks for calling.
And don't bother to hold dinner. I'll get something when I come home. Hi.
Hello, Robert. How's the interview?
All right. What's all this?
What?
You taking and doing the cleaning at night now?
No, I had the urge to get everything straightened up.
Oh, what brought that on?
Nothing special.
Well, now that you've done it, what are you going to do?
Never really thought about it.
No? Why don't you take a little trip? Maybe visit Nanny or wherever else you have the urge to go.
I haven't had the urge to go anywhere.
Really? I'm under the impression you can't wait to leave.
Why?
Well, considering the fact that you've been so troubled of late, I would have thought that maybe a holiday is just what you need.
You can't run away from your troubles.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. What's bothering you? Please. You can tell me. Holly, I can't help you unless I know what's upsetting you. Hmm? What's this? You doing the gardening at night too now?
Good morning. You wanted to see me?
Did I pull you away from something important?
Well, usually I'd say yes to that, but assuming this is about Beatrice's murder, nothing's more important than that.
Right.
So what is that?
It's the computer printout of all the drugs found in her system.
Well, come on, what have you got?
Non-usual stuff. Generic names, local distribution to hospitals, pharmacies, you know, doctors.
Any place or anyone we know on that list?
Well, I haven't looked at it yet. I thought we'd do that together.
All right. You know, I wish there was a computer that had a computer that could read the computer.
I think it's pretty amazing the way they managed to get it out this fast.
Seriously, God bless computers. Can you imagine how long it would take us to track all that down on our own?
I don't want to think about that.
Hmm.
Shall we?
Why not? Okay.
Check to see if any of our suspects have made the list.
Boy, it's quite a list.
I find it incredible that so many drugs can be dispensed in so short a time.
Yeah, but, Robert, it's all legal. Hospitals, pharmacies.
Anybody you know yet?
I'm looking.
We're looking for the Quartermains, Sylvia Whitby, Amanda
Hey,
Power.
bingo.
What have you got?
Alan and Monica Quartermain.
Really?
Both drew drugs from the hospital pharmacy. And those drugs are on the list found in Beatrice's system.
Any notation there that those drugs may have been prescribed to a specific patient?
Yes, no patients. Huh. Alan has 2 of the drugs on the list.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it doesn't prove anything. Look, Alan and Monica are doctors.
Doctors with a motive for murder.
Yeah, probably more of a motive than any of our other suspects. Still in all, I shouldn't
What?
say that. Well, look at Mrs. Barrington. You know darn well that she wouldn't want those pictures released.
Not to mention Sylvia Whitby.
Yeah, then Lorena has been acting suspiciously.
And I think that Leo was probably born that way. So what does that give us? Still more suspects, all on a par with the Quartermains.
And they were all at the spa the night that Beatrice died.
All with motive and all had opportunity.
Yeah, and all we have to do is find out who had those drugs and was able to use them.
Tell me, how soon can we get that list on all drugs distributed to people other than hospital employees, doctors, pharmacies, etc.?
No, they're working on it right now, probably a couple of hours.
Listen, do me a favor. Call up the Quartermains. Tell them I want to come round and have a little chat.
Rob, are you just going to confront them?
Well, I might as well. No point in sitting on this any longer. The longer I give them, the easier it's going to be to come up with an alibi. No, I think I might just burst in there now and surprise them.
Well, Robert, how good to see you.
Edward.
Well, can we get you anything? Coffee, juice, even breakfast?
I don't think so.
Well, Quartermains are at your service. We certainly have nothing to hide.
Father.
As a matter of fact, Robert, Alan and I have to get to the hospital.
This won't take long.
I imagine it's about Beatrice's death.
Yes, it is.
Beatrice, dear woman. Not that we didn't have our disagreements, but I can't understand why anybody in the world would ever want to harm her.
Father, I am sure that Robert can think of several reasons why we would want Beatrice out of the way, and I don't see any point in pretending otherwise.
You don't deny that, then?
No.
What's the point?
I mean, she was a source of great aggravation to this family, particularly in a lawsuit.
She was also a great source of embarrassment to Lila.
But to accuse us of murder, why, that's simply ludicrous.
Well, actually, he hasn't accused us of anything. He hasn't been able to say anything. Robert, why don't you just tell us why you're here?
As you know, more than one drug was found in Beatrice's system.
Yes, have they been able to pinpoint them?
Now, our computer has tracked these drugs to hospitals, pharmacies, doctors, and other medical personnel that have access to large quantities of drugs without undue questioning. 2 of the drugs found in Beatrice's system were on the report. Both issued to you, Alan.
Well, there are a lot of drugs that are issued to me for patients. What were they specifically?
A sedative and painkiller underlined there.
I recognize the painkiller. Actually, it's the same one that I gave to you for your back trouble.
Do you have it in your possession?
Yes, I'm sure that I do. Actually, it's a commonly prescribed drug. It's found in many homes.
Mm-hmm. What about the sedative?
Now, the sedative, I looked at, I don't recall that.
You don't recall drawing 100 pills from the hospital pharmacy?
Well, as I said to you, the pharmacy dispenses a lot of pills to me.
This was quite recently, just before Beatrice's death.
Robert, are you accusing Alan?
I just want to see the bottle of sedatives, that's all.
I'm not even sure that I have them.
Check your bag.
Well, you know, there could be a mistake on that list. You know how unreliable some of those computers can be.
Well,
Yes, actually, I have them, and I'm sure that there are the 100 pills in there.
can you dump them on the table so that I can count them?
Sure.
The list also maintains that you had a quantity of the same type of drug at different brands.
Oh, yes, I do. 25, actually, but I'm sure they are all there. What, you want me to jump them out on the table for you
Please.
two?
Does your list say anything about my having any pills?
Not as yet. $98, 2 missing.
You sure you counted correctly?
Positive.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, you must have. I remember taking 2 of them one night when I couldn't sleep.
I see.
I did not. I repeat, I did not give any drugs to Beatrice.
Well,
Just a minute, I'm almost done. Look, this is ridiculous. I know there are 25 here.
Yes.
Wait a minute. One is missing. Well, there's a mistake here someplace.
Well, maybe you took it the night Alan couldn't sleep.
I did not take any pill, and I have no idea why one is missing. And I will assure you, I had nothing to do with Beatrice's death.
Robert, we are doctors. We're pledged to save lives, not to take them.
I'm working on the theory that Beatrice was given more than one drug by more than one person. Which means I've got to track them all down.
Well, does that mean charges are going to be brought against several people?
Several people on charges of involuntary manslaughter.
You mean they're all going to be lumped together in this?
No, separate cells, I would imagine.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to charge us with something now?
Nothing that drastic. Just stay in town and let's not lose touch. You too, Edward.
Oh, you have my full cooperation, Robert.
Bye.
Robert. Hey. Surprised you're still here.
Got some paperwork to catch up on.
Well, since when is that more important than having dinner with a wife as lovely as yours?
I'm not hungry. What's your excuse?
Well, there's nobody in my life at the present time, so I figured I'd stick around and wait for the breakdown on this drug distribution list.
That it?
Yeah, this is it. Here, they even list prescriptions filled for individuals. Look at that.
Sylvia Whitby and Amanda Barrington are on this list.
Want me to get them in here?
No, I can wait till the morning.
You know, Robert, it's beginning to look like half the social register of Port Charles is going on trial.
You could be right.
Boy, oh boy. What a field day for the press. Juicy scandal. Blackmail at the spa, the Quartermains and their motive, and not to forget Leo and his wonderful photos with those women.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that one woman could cause so much trouble for so many other people.
True words have never been spoken, Bert. Well, what's all this? I mean, spring cleaning in fall? Haven't you got your seasons backwards?
Winter's just around the corner.
I'd hardly call 2 months just around the corner.
Well, it doesn't hurt to be prepared. I couldn't find your wool overcoat. I was sure it was in here.
Will you forget the closet for a moment?
I'm just right in the middle of this.
I want to talk to you.
What don't you think? That we've talked enough already.
Damn it, woman, I want an explanation.
Oh, Robert, you're hiding me.
I want to know what's going on.
I'm just cleaning out the closet, that's all.
You're getting things in order.
Well, yes, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, how else would you look at it? I give you a chance to go and visit Nanny, and you say no. However, it now looks as if you're about to move out of town for a couple of years.
Don't be silly.
Holly, I want to know what's going on, and I want to know now.
I take a stab at organization. You know how I am, always leaving things to the last minute. So I thought this year it's going to be different. I'm going to get on top of things.
There's something else behind this.
What? I'm just cleaning out the closet. There's some great significance to that?
Getting things in order.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Normally I'd say nothing, but given your attitude, I'm suspicious.
Well, your attitude's been pretty weird to me lately, too.
So let's talk about it.
Oh, why bother? It's just gonna make us fight again.
I don't know about you, but me, I'm all fought out.
Well, then why pick one, especially so early in the morning?
All I want to know is why.
Why what?
It's like you're ready to move. Maybe move out.
You'll be the first to know.
That's not funny.
It wasn't meant to be.
Look, love. We can't go on like this. Not communicating, putting up walls.
It's just that I can't help it. I feel so uncomfortable.
All you got to do is tell me what's wrong.
Oh, I don't know what's wrong. I'm just as confused as you are. Trying to figure it out just seems to make it worse.
We're always able to talk before.
Well, this is different. You're not telling me what you're doing, so why should I?
Hey, wait a minute. You can't throw this back on me. I mean, you're the one that's acting like you've got a secret.
Well, if I did have a secret right now, you'd probably be the last person I'd tell.
Your husband?
It's just a sad comment on the state of affairs, isn't it?
You want me to come to you with open arms?
Well, it would be a good place to start.
If I thought that's what you really wanted, I'd do it.
Robert, if you open up to me, maybe I can open up to you.
I see. The whole thing hinges on who's going to make the first move, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess we both need a bit more time.
I guess.
I'll be at the office.
Mrs. Barrington and Mrs. Whitby have been waiting 20 minutes already. You want to keep them in the stew a little longer or get it over with?
Bring him in.
Okay. Mr. Quinn?
Thank you for both being so patient. Please have a seat.
Can I get you something to drink? Coffee? Water?
Oh, yes,
No,
please.
thank you.
No, that's all right. Nothing for me.
We thought we'd already answered all your questions, Commissioner.
Well, you gave us plenty of answers. Amanda? I can't call you Amanda, can't I?
If you like.
We're just wondering whether they were the right answers.
Good heavens. What else would they be?
I wonder if you ladies are aware that the consequences for a crime can be very serious if the suspects don't cooperate with the police.
Suspect? Are you suggesting that we're suspects?
You're accusing us of a terrible crime without any proof?
I'm merely asking you ladies to tell the truth and nothing but.
It can be worse if the police find out on their own rather than getting the information voluntarily.
Well, just what is it you want to know?
2 of the drugs found in Beatrice's body match up with prescriptions recently written for each of you ladies.
Furthermore, we have witnesses that both saw you give Beatrice drinks during the night that she died. Now, even if you don't confess, we can probably establish enough that you contributed to her death.
Well, I don't consider that a question. That's an accusation, Commissioner.
I'm simply laying out the facts, and I'm waiting for your response.
Well, anybody can give anybody a drink of water.
It wasn't water that killed Beatrice.
Ladies, you know, if you don't help us voluntarily, this can get a little nasty. Arraignment, warrants, the whole works.
The whole works? What does that mean exactly?
Well, I'll leave that up to your imagination. Meanwhile, there's a question pending. Mrs. Whitby, Mrs. Barrington.
Would either of you like the question repeated?
No, we heard it the first time.
I'm sure you did. Do we get a statement from you? Now? And here?
What about counsel?
Don't we have our rights?
Sylvia, please, of course we do. Now, what are you asked the question for?
I mean, if we have...
Well, of course. Of course you have your rights. I mean, that's the reason you're here. You're here as free agents.
Yes, being questioned, not accused.
However, that situation could change.
Amanda,
Sylvia, not one more word.
Would you two like to consult for a moment, perhaps get your signals straight?
Oh, yes, I would.
Sylvia, for heaven's sake.
Don't you want to talk?
I want to go home. That's all I want. I want to get out of here.
Amanda, you can do that the moment you come out with the truth.
Do you mean to say that we are free to leave here if we admit we gave drugs to Beatrice?
That's exactly what he means. I don't think you ladies have any other choice.
Choice? Well, that feels like a threat.
Oh, no, it's not a threat, Mrs. Barrington. But I assure you that if you don't...
Good. Maybe Mrs. Whitby and Mrs. Barrington need some time to consider this.
Well, Commissioner,
Now, we've both made it eminently clear what the situation is. Maybe they should go home and consider what we've told them. Is that clear?
Leave?
Yes, you can leave. I know where you live. I will definitely be in touch. Is that perfectly clear?
Oh, yes.
Yes, perfectly clear.
Thank you very much.
You had your reasons. As long as I live, I could never come up with a rationale of how you let those 2 ladies just walk out of here When you had them, you didn't get a confession, you didn't get any signatures, you got nothing.
Bert, I repeat.
Look, please, don't repeat it. Please, save me that, will you? I think I'm already having a hemorrhage.
Don't do that. I couldn't afford to lose you, mate.
Well, you've lost me already. I'm in shock. Tell me something. Could I be dreaming? Tell me that I am. Tell me that I am imagining that you had those two ladies so scared out of their skin that they were ready to crack up, ready to confess.
Of course they were.
Okay, fine. Okay, you said they were. Now tell me very simply, why didn't you push it all the way?
A little case of brinkmanship. Now I've taken them right to the edge. They're ready to crack. Now, we both know that with one simple phone call, they'd run in here immediately and confess. No worries.
All right, now tell me, I still don't get it. What did you gain?
Time.
For what?
Look, I've got to be absolutely sure before I nail those two. And before I can do that, I've got to get my hands on the coroner's final report. I don't want to risk any suits coming from the Barrington Whitby
suits, come
clans.
on. What grounds would they have, Robert? What do you want? We know that 2 of the pills that killed Beatrice match up with those ladies' prescriptions.
Just depends on what further information turns up in the final coroner's report. Look, they're just 2 pieces in the puzzle. I've got to find out where they fit and why.
Oh, really? Now, I've got a feeling that there's more to this than you're telling me.
Sorry, mate.
Robert, be honest with me.
You know, I think it's about time I went. What I need at this point in time is something nice and quiet to sit around all this mess going on. It's juggling my brains. Hard day like this.
Groceries, closets, bills, laundry, dry cleaning, bank accounts, passbook.
Oh, what a day.
Oh, you home, Ollie?
No, you spend your life searching for the truth. When you find it, turns out you'd rather not know. What's this?
Oh, it's just a list. You know how I make out lists all the time. It's amazing I get nothing done.
Last will and testament?
Oh, how did that get there? I was just getting organized, going through my records.
It's a will. What's going on around here?
You know, you're always organized. It's nothing, Robert.
Nothing. It's a will. Now, I want an explanation, and I want it right now. What magazine?
I don't know.
You're sitting there making out your last will and testament because of some article in a magazine, and you don't even know what magazine?
Well, it was a long time ago. I'm just finally getting back to it.
Why?
Because the magazine said it was very important and that even if you don't have a lot to bequeath, everybody should have one.
Well, I agree. It's important.
Well, then why are you so upset?
Because I know you're lying.
There was an article, just because I don't remember.
Look, whether there was or there was not an article has nothing to do with this.
Don't understand.
Well, it just sort of seems to fit into place along with everything else. Cleaning out closets, getting the house in order, making lists, your attitude. And don't tell me it came out of some article in a magazine.
No, I just didn't have much to keep me occupied, so this was a way of catching up.
Catching up?
Yes, you're always telling me to spend my time better, so I thought this would help.
Who do you really think you're dealing with here?
What do you... I don't know.
You honestly think I believe all of this?
It's the truth. I just want you to be proud of our home.
I am proud of it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but it's not perfect, and I don't want you to have any problems in your life.
What's that got to do with you getting the house in order?
Well, I know you like things clean.
That's why we have a housekeeper.
Yeah, but she doesn't do things right sometimes. She leaves dirt and mess everywhere.
Mess?
You know what I mean.
Dirt?
Yes, everywhere.
Where?
Well, you just look around.
All right, I will.
You will?
Right now. All right, let's check the
I didn't mean
tabletop here. Look at that. That's perfect. You could eat your dinner off that. The floor, that looks great to me. The walls, they look pretty good. The lampshades look fine. Let's check the mirror over here, shall we? That's probably filthy. Look at this. Absolutely perfect. Not a mark on it. You can actually see your face in it. Now look at this. I do declare a spot of dirt. Why don't we have a good look in here, eh? Look at dirt. I do declare. You come on, look at it.
Stop it! You're out of your mind!
No, well, one of us is. I haven't quite worked out who just yet.
Sit down, Robert.
Why?
Because I want to talk to you.
No kidding. Well, isn't that about time?
I didn't think I had a choice.
You could have come to me. I would have helped you.
You were the enemy.
Me? I'm your husband.
The police commissioner? I stole those 2 pills from you. I gave them to Beatrice. But I was sure it was just a matter of time before they arrested me for murder.
Hence the getting of the house in order.
I wanted to be ready when it happens. I just thought it seemed terribly unfair to leave you with a whole bunch of unfinished business. That's why I drew up my will and ordered all the food for the refrigerator and...
Hid the pills.
Yes.
These pills.
You knew?
You're, losing your conwoman's touch, my dear. I've been suspicious ever since these turned up missing.
Well, why didn't you say something?
Why didn't you?
I was so afraid. I knew it would compromise your career. And our marriage. I mean, what kind of marriage can we have now?
One thing at a time.
But it's over and I've ruined it just because of it. Trying to find those stupid pictures.
You should have come to me.
I didn't know how you react.
Well, I'd have been mad. I am mad. But you're my wife, damn it. I mean, why couldn't you have come to me? I mean, didn't I deserve a little bit of honesty and trust?
That's the very least you deserve.
Then I don't understand.
You know I've always had a problem with coming out with the truth. I don't know what it is, my past. There's no excuse at all. I just was afraid that I wouldn't get your support.
Support? Support? What did you think I was going to do? Throw you in the slammer? Look, I've been aware of your involvement in this for some time. I didn't tell anyone.
I didn't know.
Not that kind of a man.
Lately, I wasn't sure if your work was more important than I was.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, really, you've as much as said it. And you haven't said that you love me for a long time.
I never said otherwise.
But you can't even say it now. Look, all I get is that accusing look in your eye.
What do you want me to do?
Tell me that the pictures don't matter. That you care about me and that you'll protect me. Tell me that. And tell me that you love me.
I love you. All right? Satisfied? anything were to happen, I wouldn't let it. I couldn't. Morning.
Is anything wrong?
You mean anything else?
You're right. I suppose it couldn't get much worse, could it? You're dressed.
I woke up early.
Why didn't you wake me up?
Well, you had a bad night. I figured you could do with all the sleep you could get.
Did I keep you awake?
Not really.
Well, I must have done if you heard me moving around.
No, I wouldn't have slept anyway.
This is awful. Look what I've done to us. There's only one thing I can do.
What?
I have to turn myself in. Listen to me.
Not if you keep talking like that.
It's the only way.
No,
Well, then you come up with a plan.
I'm working on it.
Robert, if I don't give myself up, it's only going to be that much harder for you.
I'll manage.
You shouldn't have to.
It's a little late in the day to be thinking about that, isn't it?
Hala, I've got to do something. We can't go on like this.
You can't give yourself up.
If I don't, it's going to look like you're covering for me.
And if you do, it's only going to look worse.
Why?
Indiscreet photographs of the police commissioner's wife? How's that going to look for my career?
Great. I can't turn myself in and I can't stay quiet. Damned if I do and damned if I don't.
I'm damned if I can find a way out of this mess.
I've ruined everything and you're probably going to lose your job, too.
There are other ways to make a living.
Yes, but none that you enjoy half as much. What I've put you through. I feel so ashamed. The fact that you knew that I gave Beatrice those pills, you just couldn't say anything.
Well, that's the least of my worries right now.
But you've never compromised your professional integrity before. I wish you didn't have to do it for me.
If wishes were booze, we could party for a year.
I can just imagine what this has done for your self-respect. If it
Will
weren't
you
for
shut
me-
up? If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have any self to respect.
I know what you're trying to do, Robert. But if you cover for me, it's going to ruin you.
Look, I am not covering for you. Exactly. Well, not yet, anyway.
What do you mean?
All of the coroner's information isn't in. Now, I haven't arrested the Quartermains, even though it's obvious that they're just as
As guilty as I am?
involved as you are. Now, look, why don't you sit down, kick back, and read a book and cool it with the Joan of Arc Act. I have got to go to work. I'll call you later. And try not to worry. We'll find a way out of this mess.
You really believe that?
Do you realize the position you're putting me in? It looks as if we're not doing our jobs.
We're doing the best we can.
It's not good enough. Now, what is holding up the LeSueur report?
Well, to tell you the truth, Robert, we're a little backed up. You know how it is.
No, I don't know how it is. Now, you better get cracking on this. Otherwise, I'm going to find somebody who will.
Oh, come on. No, I don't think it'll come to that.
It
Bob.
shouldn't have come to this. Now, I want to know what's going on, and I want to know now.
I got you the initial results almost immediately.
And then proceeded to keep me waiting an interminable amount of time for the final report, which I still haven't got. Now you want to tell me you don't know when you're going to have it.
You have to realize we're involved in more complicated testing, which in turn requires more time.
Which we don't have.
Well, I can't help that.
Well, isn't it possible to run more than one test simultaneously?
No, not with the staff I've got. I'm sorry, Robert, but if I'm going to do the job right, I'm going to have to do it at my own pace.
Well, what am I supposed to do? I mean, sit around here and pretend this woman wasn't killed? Look, it's not as if you're withholding test results. This information is crucial to the whole case.
Hey, Robert, easy. Remember, he's on our side.
I am trying to mount a case of involuntary manslaughter against Lord knows how many people. Now, I better be sure that all of my suspects are guilty before I start issuing warrants to pick up half of poor Charles. And I can't do that without his final report.
I don't see why not.
What?
The victim, Beatrice LeSueur, ingested drugs which apparently led to her death.
I already know that.
All right, my staff and I have isolated 4 of these drugs. Now, there may be more, but for now, it's evident that these drugs contributed to her death.
What are you driving at?
Well, simply this. If you can establish who administered each of these drugs, then these individuals contributed to her death. So why don't you bring up your suspects, Robert?
Don't try to run my case for me. Just get that report and do it fast.
Yes, sir.
Is that all? Unless you have any further information.
I hope to. Soon.
Well, you're not going to find it standing about here, are you?
You know, Robert, he does have a point. Look, we can push on without any further report from him. All we have to do is prove who gave Beatrice those 4 drugs.
That is not the way we do things here, Bert. You ought to know that.
I'm sorry. I just don't follow you.
Half doing the job. Shoddy police work has no part in this department.
Not shoddy, just expedient.
Damn it, you're supposed to be right, not expedient.
Can I be both?
At the moment, you're neither.
Well, that's why I'm trying
We do not make a move against any of those suspects until I have that final report. Now, is that clear, Captain?
Yes, Commissioner.
Oh, hell. What am I doing?
Hi. Am I interrupting anything?
Nothing important.
What's with Bert Ramsey?
You spoke to him?
Barely. Passed him in the corridor. I said hello. He grunted and kept on walking.
It's been that kind of a day.
Yes, I figured as much. That's why I came over.
I was about to ask. I thought you were going to lay low today.
I've had second thoughts.
About?
About keeping quiet, not saying anything.
Forget it.
Robert, I know how to do it.
Not a chance.
What if I were to make an individual statement?
What does individual mean?
Say, I did what I did, completely alone, that you had no knowledge whatsoever. I could go straight to the deal.
No.
Listen to me. If you disassociate yourself with me right now, you could escape probably most of the scandal. Say that you had no idea what I was up to, which is true. I wouldn't even blame you if you renounced me. We can play it that way. We can...
No.
That's not him. Then who the hell is behind the desk, huh?
I'm sorry, Commissioner. I tried to keep him out, but he insisted on seeing you.
Don't blame her. It's your fault. If you were doing your job, I wouldn't have to be here.
You want me to call the police?
We are the police.
Shall I go for help?
No, I will see Mr. Holt.
Oh, you'll see him. And you'll talk to him, too, and give him some answers.
You can go. Now, what seems to be your problem?
I'm not surprised that you've forgotten, considering how long it's been.
Why don't you remind me?
My mother is dead.
That's supposed to be news.
Well, you must have forgotten, considering you haven't done anything about it.
What would you suggest I do?
Arrest the killers.
You must know something I don't.
I know who they are.
Do you want me to guess?
The Quartermains.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Come on, everybody knows it but you.
I didn't know there were so many detectives in Port Charles.
This isn't funny, Robert.
Am I laughing?
Then why haven't you brought them in? Huh?
A little proof would be nice.
If there'd been anybody else but the Quartermains, you would have arrested them on the spot.
What makes you so sure they're the only suspects?
What makes you so sure they're not guilty?
Who said that I was?
Then arrest them.
Look, I'll start issuing warrants when I have enough proof to make it stick.
Oh, and when is that gonna be, Robert? When the money runs out?
What money?
The big bucks the Quartermains are paying you to sit on this one.
Simpering.
Yeah, come on. I'd like nothing better.
Robert.
Don't push your luck, Sonny.
Let me tell you something. That's the only thing I got to push. I don't have power, money, or influence like the mighty Quartermains.
Now, why don't you shut up before you say something we'll both regret?
The only thing I regret is that you are in charge of this case.
You think you could do better?
At least I wouldn't be bought off.
Get out.
What's the matter, Robert? The truth hurts?
Right now. You say one more thing, Holt, and so help me, I'll have you arrested and stuck in the slammer in 5 minutes. Don't start anything,
Robert,
Jimmy.
Under the circumstances, don't you think that it would be a good idea just to be a little more tolerant considering what he's been through?
That doesn't give him the right to walk in here and start shooting off his mouth like that.
No, it doesn't give him the right, but it does make his behavior a little easier to understand.
I don't need anybody to apologize for me.
Well, I think you do. I know you've been through a lot lately, but that doesn't excuse your suggesting that Robert is being bought off by the Quartermains. You know as well as I do that Robert would never, ever take a bribe.
Fine. If that's not the reason, then what is?
I don't know why I'm wasting my time with you, but I will, just to get you out of my hair.
I wouldn't count on it.
The reason I haven't moved on your mother's case is because there are still too many unanswered questions.
I'm listening.
You wanted to know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you. Who knows? Maybe you can even answer a question for me.
I'll do my best.
What was your mother doing with $250,000 in cash taped to her body the night she died?
What?
You didn't know that?
No, that's the first I've heard of it.
Then you probably don't also know about the stock she had on her.
What stock?
So you're going to be a big help.
What sort of stock, Robert?
Stock that didn't belong to her. It was Lorena Sharp's.
What are you telling
Now,
me?
sit down, there's more. She also had some rather incriminating photographs on her as well.
Photographs of what?
We don't need to go into that.
What were they incriminating of? My mother? What?
You're supposed to be answering the questions, not asking them.
Robert, I wasn't told that anything was found on my mother, taped or otherwise.
So now you know. You also now know why the Quartermains aren't the only suspects in this case.
I don't know what to think.
Then think about this. Do you know what the connection between the Quartermains, the money, the stock, and the photographs could be?
I have no idea.
Obviously a lot less of an idea than you thought you had when you first walked in here.
Look, obviously my mother was up to some things I didn't know anything about.
Things that got her killed.
But the Quartermains are still your #1 suspects, aren't they?
Why don't you let me deal with that? I think I've demonstrated that I have a far greater handle on this case than you thought, and besides, it's my job and not yours.
Robert, it was my mother.
That doesn't give you a badge.
No. What am I supposed to do, huh? Sit around and pretend that everything is just peachy?
I expect you to stop trying to conduct my case for me.
Somebody has to.
You really want to help convict her killers?
There's nothing I want more in the whole world.
Good. Then you find out for me what she was doing with all that stuff on her the night she got killed. And then maybe I can start lining up a few suspects.
Fine. I'll get right on it.
Now, one more thing.
What?
Next time you jackboot your way in here, shouting off your mouth, make sure you know what you're talking about.
You do your job, and I won't have to.
Well,
Is it really those unanswered questions that's keeping you from proceeding with the case, or is it my involvement?
don't ask.
I want to know.
Why don't you just go home and let me deal with this case my way?
Robert?
Hi.
What are you doing home? I just saw you half an hour ago. I thought you had so much work to do.
I still do. I just wasn't up to handling it. I snapped at everybody that walked into my office. I couldn't concentrate on the simplest paperwork. I sat there looking at the wall and hating myself for not being able to do the job.
Hating yourself or me?
Never you.
But I'm the one who's done this to you. I feel awful.
I just wish I could make this easier for you.
For me, but you're the one who's suffering.
Bertha, you know, one thing in this world I always wanted was to keep you happy and safe. Now, doesn't look as if I can do either.
The commissioner's in Captain Ramsey's office with the district attorney. I'll tell him you're here.
Thank you.
May I bring you some coffee?
No, thank you. I'll be fine.
Excuse me.
I still say it's premature.
Robert, it's obvious that Leo's motive for murder was blackmail. So why are you stalling? Let's move.
I want to indict him as much as you do. I want it to stick. It will. Yeah, it will, if I do walk around with it.
Now, Tony. Hello. Sergeant said you were here.
That's all right. I know how busy you are.
I'm afraid I'm the one who's been occupying your husband's time. I apologize.
Oh, please don't. I was just in the area running an errand anyway. I just popped in to say hello.
Well, good. If you can wait a few minutes, we'll have some coffee.
Yes, fine. You two, go ahead.
We haven't much more to discuss. Robert, I am absolutely convinced that we should proceed against Leo. And I think we should bring Mrs. Whitby and Mrs. Barrington in here today and get formal statements that Leo was blackmailing them.
I wouldn't. I don't think you realize quite how complex this case is.
How?
I'm not prepared to say just yet.
Well, I'm bringing Leo in anyway. Now, you're welcome to sit in. It's your choice, Robert. You know if you cooperate now, it'll be easier for you later.
Keep talking. I don't know what you're fishing for.
I think you do.
Time's a wasting.
We sent for you, not the other way around.
But I'm not being held for questioning, right?
That could be arranged.
In which case, I'm sure you'd be willing to read me my rights.
You know your rights. You've probably heard them a dozen times in your life.
No comment.
Then comment on this. Beatrice was murdered. And I am telling you to your face that you are the prime suspect.
Am I? I don't believe I've heard any grounds for that.
Well, we're prepared to prove you were blackmailing Amanda Barrington and Sylvia Whitby.
That's news to me.
Leo, it's to your own advantage to cooperate.
This is where I came in.
Sorry that we're boring you.
Hey, listen, we press charges, you'll perk up.
I don't think you have enough to press charges for an illegal parking ticket, no less homicide.
Do you deny you were blackmailing those two ladies?
I certainly do.
Did they give you money for any reason?
I deny everything and anything. You want to throw in the time of day? I deny that too.
Are you denying that you had any involvement whatsoever in Beatrice LeSueur's murder?
You got it.
And with blackmail?
Don't you listen? I don't even know why I'm here, or why I'm being accused of anything.
I told you. You are the prime suspect.
But you haven't got a thing, have you? You know why?
And what is your theory?
Because if you had, I wouldn't be sitting here free to go. At the very least, you'd hold me on suspicion.
Well, that might be sooner than you think. Suppose I put Amanda Barrington and Sylvia Whitby on the stand, and suppose they both swear, under oath, that you were blackmailing them. Who is the jury going to believe, Leo? Two solid, outstanding citizens of this community, or you? Think about it.
Must I?
You're pretty cocky.
We're a long way from a courtroom, Mr. D.A. I don't think you got an indictment. I don't think you're going to get one either. Not on me.
Robert, tell the man what a mistake he's making.
If I were you, Leo, I'd take the district attorney at his word.
Fine. But you're not me. Excuse me, are we through?
One final word. I am prepared to get statements from Mrs. Barrington and Mrs. Whitby. And when they nail you, Leo, this case is going to fall like dominoes from that moment on.